Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Everyday Hoops. If you guys are having a good day, I'll say it now. Sorry about my voice. It's early in the morning. I'm a little bit tired. My throat's not all the way awoken yet, so I might sound a little bit lower, a little bit less energy. Just know, yeah, I'm tired and it's early in the morning. But before we get into everything, I just want to say we're getting a lot of views, a lot more views recently. A lot of my shorts have been doing well, which has led people to get to the main channel. And I just want to say thank you a lot. Like, I really appreciate it. It just really inspires me, to keep putting out stuff for you guys. So thank you. I really, really appreciate it. Yeah, but you know what we're doing today? We're recapping the games from yesterday, February 25th, 2023. Some solid games last night. One very good one that we definitely gonna have to talk about. But yeah, before we do all that, you know what to do. Subscribe, like, hit the notification bell on the channel. It really helps out a lot. And yeah, let's not waste any more of your time. Let's get right into it with the games. The first game of the day we had was the Raptors and the Pistons. For some reason, this game was really early. It was at started at 12 p.m. Eastern time, which I don't know what that's about, but I guess I don't know why they couldn't be with the other games, but whatever. Yeah, Raptors and Pistons. For the Raptors, no Fred VanVleet. He had his third child. Shout out to Fred VanVleet. Now he's about to come back and go off. And for the Pistons, no Jalen Durant. So James Wiseman got the start for Detroit. He scored the first two baskets of the game for them. For Toronto, Pascal Siakam puts up 13 first quarter points. After the first quarter, the game is tied at 22. Not very high scoring. In the second quarter, Marvin Bagley, Isaiah Livers, Charger Pistons come back to put the Pistons up by 8 points at one point. But then Pascal Siakam takes over in the end of the second quarter. The game is 44-44 at the half. Not a very high scoring one. We go to the third quarter. Scotty Barnes starts to turn up, hitting a couple shots to try to bring this team up. Boyan Bogdanovic as well. Well, it wasn't doing much in the first half. Had a few points in the third quarter. He had 9 of his 11 points in the third quarter. With 2:20 left in the third quarter, Boyan Bogdanovic hits a jumper to put Detroit up 69-62. But then the Raptors finished the third on a 9-1 run to take a 71-70 lead in the fourth quarter. Precious Achiuwa putting the Raptors up 8 with 6:25 left in the third. But the Pistons strike back. Amadou Diallo and Corey Joseph going to 8-0 run themselves to tie the game up. And it's basically like this the whole end of the third and the fourth quarter, where teams are going back and forth. Marvin Bagley was playing really good. Precious Achiuwa, Scotty Barnes are hitting shots for Toronto. Amadou Diallo is hitting shots for Detroit. Very back and forth game. But in the last about 3 minutes of the game, Pascal Siakam scores 8 of the last 11 points for the Toronto Raptors on free throws and some cutting and some shots, including hitting 2 free throws with 11 seconds to seal the game. The last possession, Marvin Bagley makes the first, misses the second. Raptors get the rebound, make both free throws, and end the game and win 95-91. They're now on a season-long 4-game win streak and jumped up to their 9th in the Eastern Conference. Look at the shooting. The Pistons outshot the Raptors this time. The Pistons shot 40%. The Raptors shot just 38%. Abysmal three-point shooting in this game. The Raptors are 7 for 26. The Pistons were 6 for 24. The Raptors also... Both teams also were under 70% from the free throw line. The Raptors were 22 for 34. The Pistons were 9 for 14. But the Raptors forced 13 Piston turnovers. The Pistons actually out-rebounded Toronto as well, 62-46, and 17 offensive rebounds. So their big men were doing really good. But the Raptors just, hitting shots when they needed to. And hitting their free throws at the right time, I guess. They couldn't hit them at any other point but the right time. Pascal Siakam finished with 29, 8, and 5. He was the best player out there today. 3 steals, 2 blocks. He shot 9 for 19 from the field and 10 for 13 for the free throw line. He's been very, very good as of recently. Gary Trent Jr. had 19 points. He shot 7 for 20 from the field. Scotty Barnes had 12, 7 and 4. He shot just 5 for 17. Didn't really do much to the second half. And then Precious Achiuwa had 10 off the bench, and Jakob Poeltl with 14 rebounds and 9 points and 4 assists. Struggle game from OG. He shot just 2 for 7, 6 points. For Detroit, it was Marvin Bagley. Marvin Bagley was out there playing really well. 21 points and 18 rebounds. His best game of the year. Shooting 9 for 19 from the field. He was great out there. Isaiah Livers and Hamidou Diallo brought some energy with 11 points off the bench for both of them. Bojan Bogdanovic had 11 points and 9 rebounds, shot 5 for 12. Most of his points came in the third quarter. James Wiseman had 10 points, 10 rebounds. And Jaden Ivey had 10 points and 10 assists. He shot just 3 for 16, 0 for 5, but he was getting a lot of other people involved with 10 assists. Again, big fan of Jaden Ivey. Now the Raptors are just one game under 500. They're 30 and 31 on a 4-game winning streak, and they're only a half game behind the Atlanta Hawks for the 8th seed in the East, man. The Toronto Raptors. Keep saying it. My prediction for the second half of the year, the Raptors would figure it out, and they're figuring it out right now. The second game of the day, we had the Pacers and the Magic, a game that I was going to be very intriguing because I really like watching these two teams, even though they're not playoff teams. They're still very good teams. So very back and forth, typical in the first quarter. Some team hit shots, the other team hit shots again. For the Magic, it was the Wagner brothers playing really good, and Paolo as well in the first quarter. For Indiana, it was Nembhard starting the game off, and then Halliburton trying to find everyone. And then the bench as well for Indiana was good. The Pacers led 27-25 after one. Going to the second quarter, the Pacers were led by Bennedict Mathurin and Jordan Nwora as well. Jordan Nwora was coming in and playing and hitting a lot of shots for Indy as well. Bennedict Mathurin doing Bennedict Mathurin things. For Orlando, it was Mo Wagner and Paolo. In the second quarter, Paolo was getting to the free throw line. Mo Wagner was playing really good. Mo Wagner is actually a really solid big man, you know. But it was a very good first quarter. Franz Wagner hits 2 free throws at the end of the second to put them up 52-51 at halftime. And then the third quarter starts, and the Pacers scored 9 points to start the third quarter, led by Andrew Nembhard and Miles Turner, to put the Pacers up by 8, and that 9 points to start the third eventually leads into a 17-2 run by Indiana, capped off by Tyrese Halliburton 3-pointer to put them up by 14 points. And yeah, that was really it right there. But there was a comeback attempt for Orlando. Franz Wagner, Cole Anthony, Jalen Suggs, all three of them in the third quarter, trying to bring him back. Franz Wagner is playing really good in this game, getting to the line, getting to the rim for easy layups. Cole Anthony and Jalen Suggs were trying their best. The Pacers go into the fourth quarter leading 82-74 after another Tyrese Halliburton 3-pointer. Go to the fourth quarter, the Pacers start the fourth quarter on a 19-8 run to take a 19-point lead, and then that basically sealed the game. The Pacers win 121-108. The Pacers finished shooting 48% from the field and hitting 15 3-pointers, while the Magic shot just 39% and hit 6 threes. Just a rough shooting day for the Magic, especially in the second half. The Pacers also forced 13 Magic turnovers. They also more than doubled the Magic assists. The Pacers had 35 assists. The Magic had just 16 assists. Miles Turner finished with 24 and 8 on 11 for 19 shooting. Bennedict Mathurin at 19 off the bench. Jordan Nwora, 18, 8, and 6 on 8 for 12 shooting. I've been a big fan of Jordan Nwora ever since college at Louisville. He was a bucket getter. He got to Milwaukee. He had a few moments in like garbage time minutes, but I mean he was on a championship team. What do you want him to do? And he was a second round pick on a championship team, so he wasn't getting a lot of minutes. But now he's in Indiana, and now he's gonna get a lot more minutes to show. You know, he's actually a very solid player, a guy that can score in bunches if you let him. He's also a big body. You know, he's a big body forward, so he's gonna get some rebounds and the 6 assists. I'm very surprised at as well. Jordan Nwora is gonna get a lot of more time out there. We love to see it. Tyrese Halliburton had 15 points and 14 assists, and Aaron Nesmith, Andrew Nembhard had 13. Sorry, always say Nesmith and Nembhard mess up. For the Magic, Franz Wagner had 21, 6, and 2 on 7 for 12 shooting. Paolo had 19, shooting 50% from the field. Markelle Fultz at 18 on 6 for 14 shooting. And even Jalen Suggs put in 14 off the bench. Wendell Carter Jr. had 11 rebounds, but he shot just 1 for 11 and 0 for 5 from 3. Gary Harris was 1 for 8. Besides Jalen Suggs, Cole Anthony and Mo Wagner tried, but they didn't get anything else. And then Goga Bitadze actually also played for Orlando against his former team. He had 6 points and 6 rebounds. I forgot he even got signed by Orlando after Indiana cut him. Next game, we had a Southeast matchup, the Heat and the Charlotte Hornets. This game starts off again regular. The game is tied at 15, with 4:19 left. But then after that 15-15 tie, the Hornets finished the first quarter on a 14-1 run, led by Gordon Hayward, Kelly Oubre, to put the Hornets up 29-16 at the end of the first quarter. The Heat shoot just 5 for 24 in that quarter, only scoring 16 points. An offensive struggle for them, which is the story of their lives, offensive struggles. But then the Hornets also start the second quarter on an 11-4 run to put them up by 20 after Kelly Oubre Jr. and one. Yeah, they just look really good, really dominant. Desmond Jr. killing people. That dunk on Max Juice was something, man. Looked like Dallas Dennis Smith Jr. But then with 6:17 left in the second quarter, Kelly Oubre makes a layup to make it a 22-point game, 46-24. And from that moment on, the Miami Heat finished the second quarter on a 27-8 run, led by Jimmy Butler and Tyler Hero, Cody Zeller as well, and Kevin Love scoring his first points for the Heat. And the Heat are now just down 3 points going into the second half. Going into the third quarter, the Heat try to come back, but then LaMelo Ball turns up. LaMelo hits 3 straight three-pointers to put Charlotte up by 9, 65-56. And yeah, in the third quarter, it was really just Jimmy Butler and Tyler Hero playing for the Heat. Jimmy and Tyler combined for 15 of the 21 Heat points in the quarter. The Hornets still lead 82-72 at the end of 3. And then we go into the fourth quarter, and the Heat score the first 9 points of the fourth quarter, led by Tyler Hero, but also Caleb Martin and Gabe Vincent hit back-to-back threes. And the lead is cut down to 1. And then from there, it's a back-and-forth game. LaMelo, after that point, hit 2 straight three-pointers, but then the Heat came back. They tied the game, but then Desmond Jr. hit a 3. I feel like every time the Heat came back to try to tie it, the Hornets would hit a 3, to take the lead. And yeah, it really came down to the wire. With 2:06 left, Bam dunked it to make it a 1-point game. Then LaMelo missed a 3, Terry Rozier missed a 3. He get the ball back, turn it over, and then Mark Williams makes a cutting layup off a nice LaMelo dime to make it 106-103. He come down the other end. Tyler missed a 3. Mark Williams gets the defensive rebound. Terry Rozier puts up a shot. Mark Williams gets another rebound and puts it back in 108-103 to seal the game. And the Hornets win 108-103. The Hornets shoot 43% from the field and hit 10 3-pointers. They also forced 16 Miami turnovers, even though they had 15 themselves. The rebounding, they had 48 rebounds to 42, had 11 offensive rebounds. And the Hornets were just hitting shots. Really, the Hornets were hitting shots. Gordon Hayward finished with 21 points at 8 for 14 shooting. He was the leading scorer. LaMelo had another great game, 19 points, 7 rebounds, 13 assists. He did shoot just 6 for 22 and 5 for 16 from 3, but he was finding his teammates. And then Mark Williams, the rookie Mark Williams, 18 points and 20 boards on 9 for 12 shooting. He's just a big body down there. That's why it was crazy to me that he wasn't playing at the start of the year, because I was like, the Hornets need a big body. They have Mason Plumlee and Nick Richards playing well, but Mark Williams, man, he was showing it every time he plays. He shows it, bro. He's a big body, and he's gonna be in the center in the league for a long time if he just do what he does. Get rebounds and get putbacks. That's what centers nowadays do. So if he keeps doing that, he'll be good. And then Dennis Smith Jr., Kelly Oubre each had 15 off the bench. Terry Rozier also had 14 points on a not so great shooting night. But yeah, for Miami, Tyler Hero finished with 33, 7 and 5 on 10 for 23 shooting. Jimmy had 28, 3 and 6, but then after that, they didn't really get much help. Bam had 14, he was trying. Kevin Love had 13 and 13, double-double. They only got 10 bench points. Caleb Martin had 6, Cody Zeller had 4. Victor Oladipo didn't score, Max Strus didn't score. Tucker Robinson played 6 minutes and didn't score. Yeah, story of the Heat's life. Struggling on offense. And now the Heat are on a 4-game losing streak. The Heat are on a 4-game losing streak. They're 32 and 29. And the Knicks are separating themselves from that 6 and 7 spot. The Heat are now only a game and a half above Atlanta, the 8th seed. So yeah, they got to get some wins and figure this offense out. But for Charlotte, I mean, they're streaking. The Hornets are on a 4-game win streak right now. They're still 19 and 43, and they're still 6.5 games behind Orlando for the 13th spot. But at least they're not going to be the worst team in the East. Which, is that really a win for them? because they are taking. Is that really a win for them? I don't know, but LaMelo's playing good. They're on a 4-game winning streak. Just let them do their thing. Our next game is the New Orleans Pelicans and the New York Knicks. Knicks coming in hot, this game hot. The Pelicans wanting a win. And the Knicks start off hot. Julius Randle, coming off his 46-point game against Washington on Friday night, continues it to start the game, putting up 16 in the first quarter, leading the Knicks to a 42-26 lead at the end of one. RJ Barrett as well was hitting shots in that quarter. We go to the second quarter. The Knicks start the second on a 10-2 run, capped off by a Josh Hart jump shot to put them up 23 points, 51-28. For New Orleans, Jonas Valanciunas and Trey Murphy were trying in the second quarter. Josh Richardson got in as well, but the Knicks just would have a counterpunch, you know. The Pelicans would try to get back, but the Mitchell Robinson would dunk it. Jalen Brunson would hit a shot. RJ would hit a shot. Randall would hit a shot. And the Knicks go into halftime with a 73-52 lead. And the second half was basically the same thing. You know, third quarter, Valanciunas or Richardson tried to hit a shot, but then RJ, who had a very much needed good game, would hit a shot. Quentin Grimes, you know, would hit a 3-pointer. And it was just like this the entire rest of the game. The Knicks ultimately end up winning 128-106, even going Showtime a little bit, but quickly, you know, allowed to Julius Randle. And, yeah, the Knicks just turned up on the Pelicans and didn't look back after that first quarter. The Knicks win 128-106. The Knicks shoot 51% from the field and hit 19 3-pointers. They've been on a 3-point surge as of recently. They shot 40% from 3, 51% from the field. The Pelicans shot just 39%, hit 8 3-pointers. The Knicks actually also had 19 turnovers, and the Pelicans only had 7. So another game with a lot of turnovers, but you still win. And the rebounding glass, you know, hitting the glass. The Knicks out-rebounded New Orleans 54-39. Mitchell Robinson back being there is huge, and they also had 7 blocks. The Pelicans did not have one. Julius Randle continues his hot streak with 28, 7, and 5 on 11 for 20 shooting, and 5 for 10 from 3. RJ again has a much-needed great game. 25, 4, and 7 assists on 8 for 13 shooting, hitting 4 3-pointers. He looked really good out there. And Jalen Brunson had 20 and 5 assists. The big three all having 20. Josh Hart put up 15, 5 and 2 with 2 blocks off the bench. He had another 3-pointer. Emmanuel quickly had 13. Mitchell Robinson had 11 and 13. And Zay Hartenstein had 10 rebounds off the bench. Derrick Rose also got to play 2 minutes. He missed all of his shots, but he got to play. For New Orleans, Brandon Ingram had 19 points. He shot just 7 for 22 and 1 for 6 and 3. He really struggled to shoot in this game. The Knicks defense was really good. Josh Richardson had 16 points. CJ McCollum had 13. He shot 6 for 19 from the field and 1 for 9 from 3. Valanciunas had 12 and 10, and Trey Murphy had 11 off the bench. The Knicks have been great in the Josh Hart era, apparently. Josh Hart, ever since he got to New York, is 10 for 16 from 3, and the Knicks are 5-0. So he's shooting and hitting threes. He's a perfect Knick. He fits in there perfectly. And the Knicks are now 5-0 with him in this new era of Josh Hart. And, yeah, they're only a half game behind Brooklyn now for the 5 seed. Meanwhile, for New Orleans, they're now on a 3-game losing streak. They're back to under 500, and they're now 10th in the Western Conference, only a game above OKC and Portland, man. Which sucks. New Orleans needs to get their stuff together, you know, and get some wins, man. Because it's not easy out there out west. You know, speaking of out west, we had 2 of the best Western Conference teams play each other yesterday. The Denver Nuggets and Memphis Grizzlies. And very disappointing game, to be honest with you. I'll tell you why. The Memphis Grizzlies started off Ja Morant, Xavier Tillman, actually. We're starting the first quarter of war. Xavier Tillman scored the first few points for Memphis. Ja Morant as well, playing really good. Desmond Bane hit some shots in the first quarter. Ja has been really struggling to shoot the last few games, so it's nice to see him come out and get it started early. Grizz end the first quarter on a 12-3 run to take a 28-20 lead in the first quarter. We go to the second quarter, and after the Nuggets hit the first shot, Bruce Brown hit a jump shot to start the second quarter. The Grizzlies then score 14 straight points and take a 42-22 lead in the second quarter. It was led by Tyus Jones, who's playing really well. Desmond Bane as well, hitting some shots. And the Grizzlies' depth, who played well their last game, they played well this game. They played really well. The bench, especially Tyus Jones. The Grizzlies scored 38 second quarter points and leads 66-42 at halftime. The Golden State was playing well. It was just his teammates weren't hitting. MPJ and Jamal Murray were really struggling to hit open shots and hit shots in general. In this game, the Grizzlies then come out the second half, score the first 8 points of the quarter, and lead 74-42. And then they really just ended it like that. John Morant was making great plays out there. The Nuggets just couldn't. Their starters just couldn't really hit much, and their bench was trying to help, but it just wasn't enough for Memphis, and they ultimately end up winning 112-94. The Grizzlies shoot 47% from the field, 45 for 95, and hit 15 3-pointers. While the Nuggets shoot just 40% from the field. The Grizzlies out-assisted Denver 25-22, and they out-rebounded them 50-48. They also had 10 steals in this game. John Morant, who, again, was really struggling to efficiently score, had a great game, 23-7-4 on 50% shooting. He's making plays all over the place. Tyus Jones really was the guy in this game. Tyus Jones, 17 points and 5 assists on 6 for 12 shooting, hitting 5 3-pointers. He's doing Tyus Jones things, man. He's one of the best backup guards in the league, and he showed it last night. Xavier Tillman and Dylan Brooks each had 12. Luke Kennard also had 12 points and 4 threes off the bench. Desmond Bane had 10 points. Jaren only had 7. Wasn't really doing much. Only played 21 minutes. But, everyone else was doing it for him, so he didn't really need to do much. For Denver, Jokic had 15, 13, and just 3 assists. When's the last time you seen Nikola Jokic have just 3 assists in a game? He shot just 7 for 11 from the field. Just no one else was really doing much. Jeff Green had 12. Christian Braun had 11. KCP had 11. But Jamal Murray had 8 points on 3 for 13 shooting. MPJ had 5 points on 2 for 10 shooting. He was 1 for 7 for 3. Aaron Gordon didn't play again in this game. And just a rare game where Denver just couldn't hit their shots. It's very rare. That's why I'm not really worried about this loss for Denver, because, just guys weren't hitting shots. That happens sometimes. So, but a great win for the Grizzlies. They really need I want to say maybe like a confidence booster, kind of like a win. It's like, all right, we got a win against a really good team. Let's keep this going now, because they've been really struggling. So, it's a big win for Memphis. But for Denver, don't take it too hard. You still got a lot of time left in the season. Now let's get to the game. The Celtics and the Sixers on ABC. What a game this was. Two of the best teams in the league going up against each other. Two rivals in the Eastern Conference. It was great. Tobias Harris started this game hot for the 76ers, and some shots early, which you like to see. Tobias is kind of gets put into this like fourth option, maybe role, where he just turns into a 3-point shooter. So it was good to see him start off hitting some shots. But for Boston, Jaylen Brown got it started for Boston, scoring their first 8 points. Marcus Smart also got involved. And at the end of the first, it was 30-28, 76ers. And the vibe already, we already knew it was going to be a good game. The vibe already started off amazing in this game. We go to the second quarter, and the Celtics start the second on an 11-2 run, led by Jaylen Brown and Robert Williams. And Malcolm Brogdon hits a 3 to put them up 39-32. And the Celtics play really well. The Celtics, Marcus Smart hits a floater to put them up 43-38 with 6.5 minutes left in the second. But then the Sixers go on an 18-7 run, led by Joel Embiid, who has 11 of those 18 points. They go on a run to end the first half. Joel was hitting fadeaways against the free throw line, and they lead 56-50 going into halftime. Joel has 20 in the first half. We go to the third quarter. The Sixers start the third quarter on a big 14-2 run, led by Tobias Harris, and capped off by James Harden, finding Melton and then hitting a step back for himself. And the Sixers blow the game up and go up 15 points, 67-52. And it looked like the Sixers could take this game, potentially. It goes back and forth, and Embiid and hits a layup to put the Sixers up 13 with 4:31 left in the third. But from that point on, Al Horford turns into Steph Curry, apparently. Al Horford comes out and hits 3 straight 3-pointers to put them down 4. And the Celtics go on an 18-3 run at the end of the third quarter to put them up 3 after Jason Tatum step back. Puts them up 2, actually. 80-78 going into the fourth quarter. The Celtics showing that fight in them, which they really needed. Celtics start the fourth really well. Jaylen Brown hits a couple shots to put them up 10 points multiple times. But from that point on, Boston was up 10. But then the Sixers go on a 16-5 run. Just like that, capped off by Tyrese Maxey layup. Joel Embiid scored 6 straight points in that time span. The Sixers then go up 103-102, and the end of this game was great. Jason Tatum made an offensive rebound tap-in layup similar to like he did a few days ago in Indiana to seal the game, making it a 4-point game, 107-103. James Harden comes down the other end, gets fouled, hits 2 free throws. A lot of missed shots. Jason Tatum takes a bad shot. 3-pointer, shot clock violation. The Sixers come down the other end. Joel Embiid draws a foul on Jaylen Brown. He hits both free throws, makes it 107-107 with 10 seconds left. Come down with 10 seconds left. The Sixers foul. Jason Tatum would take foul. They had 1 to give. So with 5 seconds left, Celtics inbound, and Jason Tatum comes sprinting down from backcourt. Marcus Smart finds him, and Tatum pulls up for 3 and hits it. A big shot when he was really struggling to shoot all game. He hits a huge jumper to put him up 110-107. In the last possession, the inbound to Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid gets a full court shot off and hits it. But he already knew. He was like, it was after the buzzer. And everyone was celebrating. And then he said after the buzzer. And then they showed he was just 0.2 seconds off. And the Celtics escape with a 110-107 game. Honestly, for me, that was up there for game of the year. Like, that was so fun to watch. It was really a playoff vibe. Philly, Boston. You know, these two teams are rivals. The crowd was getting into the Philly crowd. It was just back and forth. Both teams weren't shooting that well. There's good defense. Big shot making. Just all of it, man. It was really, really exciting game. And the Celtics win 110-107. The Celtics shoot 50% from the field and hit 16 3-pointers in this game. While Philly shot just 45%, hit 9 threes. Yeah, it was just whoever hit the big shots, really. Because both teams weren't shooting amazing from the field. And the Celtics really got back into it at 3-point shooting. The Sixers just weren't guard the 3-point line at one point, which led to a lot of 3-pointers being open. But yeah, Jaylen Brown was the leading scorer, 26, 4 and 3 on 10 for 21 shooting and 3 steals. He really got the Celtics offense when nothing was going on for them. He was really stepping up and hitting shots when they needed him to. Jason Tatum had 18, 13, and 6 on 7 for 17 shooting. Hit the big shot when it mattered. He started really get going near the end of the third quarter and into the fourth. Derek White had 18 points off the bench. Al Horford had 15 and had 5 3-pointers. He really sparked the Celtics comeback. Robert Williams had a great game, 14 and 8 on 7 for 7 shooting. Marcus Smart had 10 points as well. For the Sixers, Joel Embiid, man. Joel Embiid tried his hardest out there. 41, 12, and 5. He shot 12 for 21, hit 17 of his 18 free throws, had 3 blocks. He really just tries it all out there and does it all, man. Gotta give him mad respects to Joel Embiid. Harden had 21, 6, and 8, and 3 steals. He shot just 5 for 16. He was getting to the free throw line, though. And James Harden looked really good this season. This is the best I've seen James Harden look since his Rockets days, honestly. Like, he looks really good out there. Tobias had 19 points. PG Tucker has 16 rebounds. You know what he does. But yeah, Philly just a little too late at the buzzer. But still, I wouldn't get too upset about this Philly team. This Philly team showed a lot of fight, and they showed they're really good. Need a few little things to patch up, like guarding the 3-point line. But besides that, they're really good. And the Celtics now, 3-game winning streak, 44 and 17, best record in the league, and the best road record in the league as well. That was beautiful basketball last night. In the last game, the Spurs and the Jazz playing against each other. The Spurs actually start this game very well. The Spurs start the game on a 17-4 run led by the rookies, Jamie Sohan and Malachi Branham. They go on a 17-4 run to start, big start. But then the Jazz bench brings it back. Chris Dunn, Udoka Azubuike, Rudy Gay try to bring the Jazz back. The Spurs lead 33-22 after the first quarter. Going to the second quarter, Keldon Johnson and Jeremy Sohan play really well. I really like Jeremy Sohan. Both of them are getting others involved, hitting shots for themselves as well. And the Jazz offense just wasn't that great. Larry Markkinen didn't play well in the first half. And the Spurs go into halftime with a 65-55 lead. We're going to the third quarter, and the Spurs offense falls. The Spurs just don't know how to play offense anymore. Spurs score just 14 points in the third quarter, shoot 6 for 24. Lamar Marketing turns up. THT was playing really well out there as well in the third quarter. And the Jazz come back and take the lead into the fourth quarter, 85-79 after Simone Fontecchio three-pointer. Then we go into the fourth, and the Jazz start the fourth quarter off well, just end the game from there. Ochai Agbaji was 8 shots. Chris Dunn was playing really well. Lowry starting to turn up in the fourth quarter, and they win the game 118-102. Great win from the Utah Jazz. Jazz shoot 47% from the field, hold the Spurs to just 39% shooting, and 9 3-pointers made for them. Jazz again had 14 turnovers, but they still won. They out-assisted San Antonio 29-21 in the rebounds. They out-rebounded San Antonio 56-41 with 15 offensive rebounds. They also had 11 blocks in this game. For Utah, Lamar Marketing puts up 27 points. He got 20 in the second half, shooting 9 for 17, 3 for 7 from 3. You know what All-Stars do, Maybe they play bad in the first half, but then they step up in the second half. Chris Dunn, great game. 15, 7, and 8. Great to see him out there doing what he's doing. Former top 5 pick, now getting another chance. And he's been playing really good ever since he got to Utah in those few games. Ochai Agbaji had 14 points off the bench. THT 12, 6, and 4 starting today. He also had 3 blocks. Simone Fontecchio had 11. And then, Walker Kessler, 9 points, 12 rebounds, 5 blocks. For San Antonio, Jeremy Sohan at 22, 6, and 2. Neat for 18 shooting. Again, I really like him. He just does so much stuff, and he's really unique. Really unique game. You don't see a lot of people like Jeremy Sohan out there in the NBA. Keldon Johnson had 18 and 7 on 9 for 22 shooting. Zach Collins had 15. Malachi Branham had 13 and 6. KDB have 11, 4, and 4. He had just 1 shot, but he had 9 free throws. And then Devontae Graham had 10 off the bench. The Spurs now on the 16-game losing streak and still aren't the worst team. They're tied for the worst team. Going to get Wemby, man. They're doing it right. They don't look like they're tanking. They're in the game usually for the first 2.5 quarters. But then halfway through the third, they fall. They're doing it right. And Greg Popovich is not, I feel like, hasn't even, doesn't care that they're losing 16 in a row. He's smiling after every game still. You gotta love Greg Popovich, man. We had some amazing games yesterday. Hopefully some more today. But yeah, that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Once again, subscribe, like. I'm also on Twitter at EverydayHoops10. And see you guys tomorrow.